we're Homeland Uranium. My name is Roger Lemaitre. I'm the CEO. I've been in the uranium business for about 26 years. Study that one really carefully. It's probably the most important slide on this next to the next two. Our objective at Homeland is to develop meaningful pounds of uranium. So not everything that you see out there is meaningful. In the US particularly, it's a bit of a challenge because the mines are very small compared to what we see maybe at the Athabasca Basin level, because the deposits are generally smaller. What we're hoping to do is bring multi-million pound per year capacity to the US market, which is essentially, for the argument's sake, unlimited in terms of its potential need for uranium. And this is our sort of value slide. As an investor, I want you to look at this. On the left-hand side, our US-focused peer companies and what resources they have. You can see Homeland, it's very high up there. Our peer companies are also in the, we have not 43-101 resources, but historical resources, and our peers are kind of the same. But our market cap per pound is definitely smaller than our peers. So if we go out and do what we say we're going to do, we should see the company re-rate. And I'll get into a different argument, and I won't even get into it here because I don't have the time, but the quality of the pounds are going to be unique. Our company, as you can see here, we're 143 million shares fully diluted, market cap in the 40 million Canadian, 30 million US range. It's gone up since we did this slide a couple of days ago. And we trade very well, upwards of almost 2 million shares a day. For a company that only has 105 million shares outstanding and running, that's pretty impressive. Our team is very strong. I won't get into it in too much detail. I've been in the business for 26 years. Nancy Nomar, our VP Explorations at the back here, she has a real nose for finding uranium. But I think what's unique is our board of directors, head up by legends in the space. I can't believe they actually joined a company our size, starting up. Usually these guys would be in a $400+ million market cap, particularly Eugene and Mark. And you want to know more about them, come see us at the booth. I think one of the things that strikes me, I've never been in the industry in my 26 years, I don't think 2025 was unique because I can't think of a year where uranium and nuclear power has been accepted on all sides of the political spectrum like it is today. And any one of those three bullet points on the right-hand side of the year, if this was 2020, or 2020, if this was 2004, you would have went, wow, what a great change for the industry. Now I can't even keep up to things. Even just last week, the US government put $2.8 billion into uranium enrichment. You can't even keep track of how fast the industry is going. And we're focused in the US for a reason. Essentially, the US produces almost no uranium, and they're ramping up very quickly to get to about 2.5 million pounds in 2025 production. Yet they need 50. Half their pounds have come from questionable sources. And I know the slides are very small, and I did that intentionally so you don't get into the infinite detail. Far left-hand side here, there's production on the far right-hand side, and that line going across is 10% of US need. So I think if you can build a US uranium mine economically, there is a market for what you have. Never mind the regulatory streamlining that's going on and the massive growth potential due to AI and data centers and such happening in the US. And I think but undermining this challenge in the US is the global challenge. There is absolutely no doubt, this is the most conservative data out there, comes from the IAEA, that in 2040, we need 11 more cigar lakes to meet our needs. Just to put it in perspective, there have been 5 cigar lakes found in global history. So why is that important to Homeland and Homeland investors? We sit on a large portfolio of property in a past-producing district in the northern end of Colorado Plateau. We're about 25 miles away from Union Carbide's former producing Maybell mine, and we have 2 significant historical uranium deposits that we can operate as a single source sort of mine complex. These are both found by major uranium major explorers. Western Mining found our Coyote Basin project, and you can see the little dashed outlines there are what they found back in 1979 before the 3 Mile Island incident pretty much wiped out the US uranium industry. We're currently drilling on the northern part of our 3-part program. the central part of the three-part program, and we're putting out results with assays still pending. And the goal is to take this 35 million pound deposit by middle of the year with a preliminary resource on an inferred stage, do some heap leach testing, preliminary, one of 5 major steps along the way, and become an open pit, meaningful uranium producer in the next 5 to 6 to 7 years. Our phase 2 program, just a little detail on our phase 2 program, basically, like we said, Western Mining left us a roadmap to be able to upgrade this to an current resource, so that's what we're currently doing right now. Our second program, and this is what the picture looks like in Colorado. People have been asking me, can you drill here in the winter? The pictures on the left-hand side here were taken in just a couple of weeks ago. There's no snow on the ground. I was there when it was a lot of snow on the ground. This is what our terrain looks like. So we are actively drilling as we speak. Our second project is sort of a little nice sweetener to come along the ride, Crossbones. It's 25 miles away. It's a significant resource, also shallow and open pittable. And we just picked this property up in the fourth quarter of last year. We will follow a similar path to what we're doing at Coyote Basin by converting this resource over starting in the second half of this year and look out a 6-7 year window, all things being equal. The Crossbones, one of the advantages of Crossbones is that this is a section, the red area is a 1 by 1 mile section. We know there are 64 drill holes in this section. We have all the data for it. We just need to find out where most of those holes sit in space. We just got to dig out the historical data and figure it out. We're going to be able to convert this one maybe a little faster than when having to re-drill all the holes that we've done over at Coyote Basin. And so, the goal of making meaningful pounds here is to make a U.S. producer in a sort of short window of time. And I do believe that in the U.S., while we do see some massive changes happening in the space and a regulatory environment, the U.S. is definitely in the uranium space bipartisan. And while the current administration is seriously changing the way that things are happening on a regulatory point of view, the previous administration was definitely incentivizing the industry. So things could change, but I don't think it's going to change radically in terms of what they're doing and what the needs are in the United States. So with that in mind, our company, looking to convert historical resources by 2 major companies into current resources that are open pit, heap leach amenable, and relatively short time frames to be production. We have a significant resource base, one of the largest in our peer group, yet our market value is definitely lower than our peer group. And so for us, it's all about turning things around, not turning things around, but showing you that we're doing what we say we're going to do and converting those resources. And with that in mind, one more little point I want to put out there. 2 deposits, 1 neighborhood, 1 jurisdiction. Significant pounds. The largest uranium mine in the U.S. today produces about 1 to 1.2 million pounds of uranium a year at its fullest capacity. 2 years ago, or last year, the total industry produced 677,000 pounds. They consume 50 million, and yet here we are, less than 75 meters, 250 meters of depth in these 2 deposits that can be converted into historical resources that can produce multi-million pounds a year into the market. While it's not the size of what you can do in Saskatchewan with these mega deposits, there is absolutely a good investment opportunity here at Homeland. So with that, I'll pass you on to us. Come and see us at our booth. We're hiding in the back corner there in the little room where the coffee is at the far back wall. Come ask us any technical questions you want or know more about our board and what we're trying to accomplish. With that, I appreciate your time, and I do not have a dad joke for you.